upon you. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, honorable clergy, distinguished guests, and my brothers and sisters against genocide. Today, just as it was 102 years ago, the soil of Assyrians' homeland is being soaked with the blood of its native inhabitants. Today, just as it was then, we are witnessing the destruction of innocence as our people are being slaughtered for their faith and national identity. Looking back over the last few years, we see the immense persecution plaguing the Assyrian Christians, Armenians, Yazidis, and the list goes on and on. Since ISIS invaded Mosul in 2014, the villages that hundreds of thousands of Assyrians used to call home were seized, looted, and destroyed. Through church bombings that have become the norm in Iraq, Syria, and Egypt, the unprecedented levels of kidnapping and executions throughout the region, the unprovoked aggressions against the Armenians by its neighbors in their own homeland, the destruction of ancient Assyrian monuments, relics, and historic sites that survived more than 4,000 years ago are now being destroyed. All of these horrors are a reflection of what occurred 102 years ago in the Ottoman Empire. Our wounds have not yet healed. The wounds are still open and Assyrians have no more blood to water their own soil with. 102 years ago, just as our Armenian and Greek brothers and sisters were targeted and suffered, our Assyrian ancestors also faced the wrath of the Ottoman sword. The people who brought civilization to the world were killed in the most barbaric way imaginable. Out of every 3 Assyrians, it is estimated that 2 perished during the Assyrian Genocide in 1915. That is an estimated 66% of an entire people destroyed within 3 short years. Since those tragic events, generation after generation of Assyrians, Armenians, and Greeks have been fighting for justice. Justice to come in the form of acceptance, remittances, and reconciliation. The Assyrian Genocide was recognized by the International Scholars of Genocide in 2007. And many countries have recognized the Assyrian Genocide, and we hope that Canada will follow suit as it has recognized the Armenian Genocide. I want my generation to be the last generation to fight this fight. I want my kids to stop having to come to these rallies because I want my children to grow up in a world where our neighbors on the other side of the fence recognize their historic past, no matter how hard it is for them to accept it. It is only then that our people can move forward together, hand in hand. But until then, we are forced to raise our voice for those whose voice was taken away from them by the Ottoman sword. It is only through accepting the past and moving forward together in solidarity that the horrendous attacks we see plaguing the Middle East and its minorities and its people will stop. If the perpetrators and benefactors of the Assyrian, Armenian, and Greek genocide do not push for reconciliation with the descendants of victims, then I am afraid that the Middle East is doomed to repeat those events of 102 years ago over and over again. The current genocide against Assyrians has been recognized by the United States government, but unfortunately not in Canada. We need Canada to lead and to take action to help Assyrians in their ancestral homeland to live in dignity, in equality, and in peace. Until justice has been served, the Assyrian, Armenian, and Greeks will never give up, and we will never forget the Assyrian, Armenian, and Greek genocides. As Winston Churchill had said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So I beg you, my neighbors, please help us remember the past so we can stop having it be repeated. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosemary, and thank you, dear activists and fellow community members for joining us today. A special thanks to our honorable members that are here today with us representing various political parties and